good to be back with you again. So let's talk about the inconjunction between the moon and Venus in Synastry. Why this can be so incompatible, at least on a surface level. Sometimes on a really deep level too. Because when we have the inconjunction, that means we have the moon and the Venus approximately 150 degrees away from each other. There's very, very little in common when it comes to the comforts between the two people. The superficial likes and dislikes, our tastes and our preferences, how we are going to soothe ourselves, that's going to be really, really different. So the moon person tends to interpret the Venus person's preferences as, kind of alien to them. Like, why would they use that to do that? That makes no sense to me. Or why would they spend their money on that? Or why do they value that? Why do they like that? It's like me watching someone eat custard or brie. I have a problem with these two things. I got a problem with custard, especially. And, if I'm standing there watching someone eat, custard pie, or especially like UK custard, some authentic stuff there y'all got. Eating a pie of that, I'm going to be wondering, what is up with that? Because that doesn't match my particular preference. Now, I know on a bigger scale, people like what they like, and they're not going to like what I like. But there's still that piece of us that's like, So we do that a lot when we have this in conjunction. There's a lot of going on between the two of us. And we're both doing it because these things are just really different when it comes to what kind of blanket would one choose? What kind of dinner would one choose to make for the other one? So our tastes are so radically different that we just don't have a lot in common when it comes to that. So you don't see this particular conjunction in really successful relationships very often, and you don't see it in friendships because it kind of takes the friendship agreement factor out of it. We have very little agreeableness when it comes to what would you like to do, or where would you like to go, or it's not like the opposition or the conjunction where we just agree. We have the same preferences. We don't with the inconjunctions. We have to do an enormous amount of compromising, coming out of our comfort zone, and we typically don't want to do that when we have this inconjunction. There's this feeling like, well, the other person should like what I like, or the other person's ways or their preferences are and their tastes are just so gross that there's no way that I could ever go to that. I mean, I'm not eating flan. I'm not going to be gorging myself on custard. I would, these are the things that you have to consider. Do you want to go every day that far out of your comfort zone? This is going to be something that comes up constantly between the two of you. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. Like, everything is so good. There's such an amount of benefit that you're getting out of the relationship. Maybe someone who kisses me with custard breath, I can overlook it. We can build these things into the relationship. But again, it is something that you're going to have to evaluate on a case-by-case basis. You can't just say this one. You can't get around it because you could have other things going on that are so helpful that you're willing, again, to make those sacrifices. You're willing to go to restaurants you don't want to go to. You're willing to do crafts that you're really not interested in. Things like that. You're willing to let the other person spend the family money on things that you don't value or you find even uncomfortable. You can work around it, but this is one that, again, is going to require a lot of coming out of your own comfort zone. And the compromise is a lot in just allowing the other person to have their preferences. And because we can't change those preferences. We can oftentimes compromise to the degree that we're both unhappy. And that's what real compromise is. It's not where we both feel like, yeah, we're coming out 100%, I got what I want. No, it's when we both come out feeling like we both had to give something up. And again, these two planets don't generally want to do that. And we have to ask ourselves, should I have to do that? Should I get to have what I prefer? This is, on the Venus persons, a more superficial difference. It is on the Moon person's side, a more fundamental difference. So it is something that is rather annoying between two people. And again, it can engender feelings sometimes of disgust because the other person's preferences are just so wacky to us that it's just hard to fathom why the other person would even want that. So it's something to take into deep consideration when this one shows up in Synastry. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com, Facebook and Instagram, and I did just update my site, so I have a brand new website there with some new articles that I keep contributing to weekly, and I'll be including a subscription option to that as well, so I'll be having exclusive videos and writings, and you'll have access to my book as well as I add the chapters to that. So I will be back super soon with more super cool videos. Bye-bye.